yoga in. I've lit a candle in front of me today, just a way to really bring the sacred into the space and onto my mat. You can use essential oils, you can use a mini altar, you have some crystals or anything that lights you up, maybe some flowers, maybe a little deity or token. You can lay out in front of you a favorite rock, whatever. Just creating your own yoga studio wherever you are at. Today we're going to do a class to help open shoulders and arms. If you are at home, you might be using more electronic devices, which means being hunched over, rounding, typing, or maybe not seating or seated in the best posture, doing some of your work from home. So just helping to open all those areas up. We are going to be using a block. If you don't have a block at home, you can use a thick book as well as a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap at home, an old scarf, a tie, anything static will work. We're going to start on the block, coming up to a seated position, Sukhasana. Folded one leg in front of the other, and just take out any tissue from underneath you so you can feel the sit bones rooted down on the block. The pelvis is slightly tilted forward, an anterior tilt, so the knees can rest down on the ground. Just take those shoulders, start to roll them out, starting to breathe into the body a little bit more deeply, that conscious breath. And then we can take it the other way. And then be really mindful here, full range of motion, lifting up, coming forward and back, or going the opposite way, but having the experience of moving through the shoulders. Exaggerating it, maybe even getting the elbows involved here. And then take it the other way. Little crunching happening through my shoulders, those fascial adhesions. Just starting to wake up, warm up. And then let's just do a little bit of head and neck work here. So just taking the chin to the chest, nose over navel. And just start to do some nice half circles side to side. Opening up that neck. Just seeing where the neck's at today, any stiffness, tension, tightness. Just being aware, moving slowly. Drop it over to that right side. If it feels okay for you, just taking that right hand, placing it on the head. Left hand on the knee, just as a reminder to keep that knee down. Gentle pull. And then release. Let's take it over to the other side. Right hand on the leg, left hand coming up and over, just drawing that left ear a little closer to the left shoulder, dropping that right shoulder down. And then let's release that. Take the chin to the chest, interlock the fingers behind you. Little bit of weight on the back of the head, bringing the elbows closer together. Nice stretch through the neck. We're going to press the skull into the hands, open those elbows up, look all the way up, open up the chest, pushing the back of the head into the hands, keeping those elbows upright. And then maybe folding over just a little bit. Inhale, center, taking it over to the other side. Still keeping those elbows spread apart, moving away from one another. Inhale, back up. Press that skull into the hands. And then you're going to cradle the skull, pull the skull up, tucking chin into chest, bringing those elbows closer together. And then release. Let's take those hands down. We're going to grab onto our strap. tie, whatever it is you have with you. This one's quite long, so I'm gonna fold it in half. I'm gonna place it over my knees, and I wanna take my hands nice and wide. And the further out, probably the better, because most of us have pretty tight shoulders. You can always walk in. We're gonna push out to the edges of the room, keeping that strap taut in the middle, so some tension there versus slack. And then we're going to open up the shoulders. So starting down here, set the shoulders down and back. Pull the ribs in. Inhale, start to pull those hands to the edges of your room, coming all the way up, and you're just gonna slightly come behind you. Feeling into that chest opening, opening up through the arms, drawing the shoulder blades down and back. And then take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, keeping tension through the center of that strap, coming all the way back down. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, coming up, slightly behind, nice stretch through the pectoral muscles, down the arms. Coming all the way up, exhaling those arms down. Trying to link breath and movement. Inhale up. Staying here for 2 breaths. Big, deep breaths in and out. All the way back out. And then inhale again. Exhale, coming all the way back down. We're going to build on this. This time, you might want to take the hands out even wider if it's possible. We're going to inhale, come up. We're going to come behind us as far as you can go. Now, your strap may or may not touch your back. Just go to your range of motion, coming up and back over. This is called a PCV pass-through. So just building into that mobility, little lubrication through the shoulder joint, the glenohumeral joint, that synovial fluid joint. Starting to lubricate and hydrate it. Shoulders, chest involved here, down the arms, maybe even feeling it through the elbows, into the forearms, down into the wrists. So just be mindful here. If you are kind of moving one arm and then the other, we usually have one shoulder that has a little bit more range than the other, so just be aware of that. Also be aware if you're kind of ducking your head through to get through. I'd much rather you not go as deep and keep really awesome form here. Let's do about 5 more. Again, listening to your body, linking breath and movement, keeping the rib cage back and in, using those abdominal muscles to stay planted and grounded. 2 more. And last one. We're going to come all the way down. Just let go of your strap. Take your right arm across your body, grabbing above or below the elbow. Draw that shoulder away and then just start to hug the arm in. Breathing, keeping a nice long neck, pressing the back of the head towards the back of the room. And then taking the other arm across, above or below the elbow, pulling it in, but still dropping that shoulder away. Beautiful stretch for the outside of the shoulder, the deltoids. Still breathing, still staying connected. Release that, come back onto your strap. Take your hands in a little bit closer now. So if you look down where I am, my hands are just on my knees. That's kind of a good indicator. You may need to go wider and a little bit closer, but you can start here. We're going to still pull into that strap, finding that tension. We're going to inhale, come up. From here, we're going to drop our arms over to the left. Navel's pulling up and in. Arms are straight, giving ourselves a nice big stretch here through the right side. Loose head. You might even want to take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Little tone through that belly. Inhale, carries this back up. And then exhale, carries it over other side. Arms are straight, finding that tension through the center of your strap, maybe looking up to the ceiling. Beautiful, nice, deep breaths. Inhale all the way up, bringing that hand down, strap down, coming across our body. This time we're going to take it on a 45-degree angle, so fingertips are higher than the shoulder, again above or below, pulling that shoulder down, pulling that arm in. Still breathing so deeply, just getting another angle, another spot on the shoulder, getting into all those crevices, all the little nooks and crannies of the body. And then we're going to take it over to the other side, again 45-degree angle, starting to pull that arm in. Back of the hand facing the back of the room, shoulder down as much as possible, playing with a different angle. And release. Let's just take the strap off to the side, stretch out those legs, drum them out a little bit. And then we're going to slip the block out from under us and fold our legs in the opposite way. So whatever leg was behind is now in front. We're going to take the hands behind us. Fingerprints are pointing towards the heels. We're going to press into the chest. We're going to look up. Lock out those arms, big opening through the chest, breathing deeply. You can let the head fall back if you don't have any neck issues, or if you have any neck issues into that cervical spine, chin into chest. Feel those shoulder blades squeezing together. Breathing right across the chest, center line. Bend into your elbows, come on up. We're gonna turn the palms the opposite way. Now fingerprints are facing towards the back of the room. We're gonna walk the hands out a little bit further from us. Open up, nice and big, broad across the chest. And then as you open, you can walk those hands a little bit closer in. Pressing, lifting that chest up, just like a big fish hook underneath the sternum. Breathing into this. Beautiful. Tuck the chin into the chest, bend into those elbows, come all the way back up. We're gonna get ready to use the strap one more time. Couple options for the blocks. So if your legs are happy in the seated position, just stay here, slide the block under your bum, just like we did in our initial pose. Or if you want to come into a flusher for the knees, you can join me in Hero's Pose. So for Hero's Pose, we're going to take a variation today. We're going to tuck the shin bones under. We're going to wing our ankles out to the side, and we're going to take the block underneath the bum. If you need a little bit more height, you can stack it on 2 blocks or take it to the higher level. For me today, I'm going to be okay on the single block. I want to make sure my knees are touching, and I want to make sure the heels are close in and touching the skin, the outside of your bum. You don't want those legs too far out because that will strain the knee, but this is actually a very safe position. If you ever watch a child play, they'll sit in this position very naturally. It's a great position to help open the hips, to widen through the lower back, and to flush the knees and keep those knees really mobile. So this is a fantastic position to take, but again, if you don't have knees that like this, it's not a friendly position, you can always come into that folded leg position. If you've had a meniscus tear or knee surgery, replacement, or partial replacement, it's best to take that cross-legged position. From here, we're going to take our strap, and depending on how long the strap is, you might want to fold it. We're going to start on our right side. You're going to pat your back. You're going to take your strap behind you, and you're just going to hold it. You're going to take that left hand, bring it behind you onto your lower back, and see if you can grab onto that strap. The most important thing right here is this tricep being straight. So we're gonna work on bringing the elbow straight up to the ceiling. It doesn't matter how far this left hand is up the back. So start with it on the lower back. Find the elbow up high. You're gonna draw the rib cage back. Belly button up and in, sitting up tall, and then if you can, walk your hands a little bit higher up the strap. I'm gonna turn around just to show you what's going on here at the back. If this is accessible for you, stay here. Your hand might be down, but just working to get that tricep nice and straight, elbow pointing towards the ceiling. You might also be in a situation where you can take a bind. So taking whatever feels best in your body, we're gonna sit up tall. You can close those eyes. Start breathing deeply into this stretch, nice opening. Shoulders are moving in two different ranges of motion, the right and left side. So getting two stretches here, and then we're going to balance it out when we switch to the other side. Staying focused on the inhale and the exhale. Just feeling whatever's underneath you. Maybe you've chosen not to use a block and you're connected to the ground, or maybe you're connected to a book. And these blocks are really inexpensive, especially the foam ones. You can get them Canadian Tire, Walmart, etc., even Amazon. And they're really worth investing in, especially if you're planning on doing some home practice. Couple more breaths, and giving us time for that connective tissue to release for us. Our shoulder joint is a very shallow ball and socket joint. We have a lot of muscles that support it, the rotator cuff. And it's important that those areas in the body are really well stretched out, but also that they're strong and stable, right? That balance between mobility and stability. Okay, from here, let's release the bind, whether it's strap or the hands. You're gonna extend those arms up and down, and then we're gonna take them out to the side. Extend, spread the fingers, thumbs up. You're gonna turn the thumbs down to the ground, getting into that rotator cuff, and then we're gonna turn the palms all the way up, maybe even back behind you. One more time. And then eventually palms towards the ground, releasing down. Let's take it over to the other side now, patting our back with our left hand, taking that strap in hand, switching over, and then placing our right hand on the lower back. Now just be aware that you're not popping your back. So a lot of times we'll push the rib cage out to get into this position. We want to draw the ribs back, tailbone descends, abdominal muscles are locking in, and then we lengthen through that tricep. So just being aware of your body position and how you are creating this in the body. We don't want to open one area and compress and collapse into another. Very often our body will continue to open in the areas that we're already flexible in, and then we stay constricted and tight in the areas that we're not so flexible in. So we want to switch that, maybe back off on the area that you are flexible in to help get into those tighter areas. Hopefully you're still doing the stretch. I'm talking here, but you should be stretching. Elbow up, check in with the rib cage, closing the eyes. Noticing if you can stay on the strap, maybe walking the hands up a little bit further, or taking that bind. Breath is our guide. If at any point we stop breathing, then we've gone too far into the stretch and we need to back off. Also noticing if you're dropping your head here, just see if you can lift that nose up, looking into the horizon with the eyes closed. Deep, full breaths. loose jaw. We have 3 muscles that make up the tricep, 3 heads. So we want to work them in all different angles, stretching. We're going to do that today. Okay, from here, releasing the grip, arm up, arm down, then taking it out to the side, spreading those fingers, thumbs up to begin with, palms down or thumbs down, turning as far as you can, shoulders away from the ears, being mindful of that, keep the fingers spread, turning palms up and beyond, back down, and all the way up. And then back so the palms are facing down and releasing the shoulders down. Let's come forward off your block. Give those knees a little bit of a break. You can pump out those knees here, little stretching back and forth. We're going to come into our tabletop position. So finding the wrists underneath the shoulders, finding the knees underneath the hips. We're going to drop into our shoulder girdle. So we're just going to let that chest hang, and you're going to feel the head of the shoulder coming up behind you. It's like we're hanging in the shoulder girdle. It's not like that. We are hanging in the shoulder girdle, but it's feeling the shoulder blades coming closer together. Let's see if I can show you this from the side. So from here, I'm in a pretty neutral position, and then when I let myself fall, I just collapse into it. My shoulder blades come closer together, and I feel the head of the shoulder moving up towards the ceiling. I'm going to press into the floor now, move through more than normal range of motion, and then I'm going to continue to press out of that shoulder girdle. So now I'm creating a lot of space, and I can feel my scapula, the shoulder blades, actually get more distance between them, sliding off to the left and to the right. Really finding space at the back of the heart. Hold that, breathe into it, and then we're going to collapse. So this is protraction, retraction. We're going to just play with this a little bit more. Finding the end range of motion, collapsing and expanding. Collapse, expand. Collapsing, expand. One more time, each direction. Collapse and expand. Come back into neutral, untuck the toes, reset the shoulders, pull the tummy up and in, just finding that nice neutral tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands further out in front towards the top of the mat, and now we're going to melt ourselves down. Hips are staying in the air. This is Anatanahasana, heart melting pose. Forehead's going to come to the mat. You're going to stretch those arms out and just let the heart melt down. Take some nice deep breaths. If the forehead does not touch the ground, use a block to bring the floor up to the forehead. Breathing right underneath the armpits, right across the shoulders, the back as well as the front. Huge, deep breaths. Fill yourself up. Lift your head, press into your arms. We're going to drag that left hand and we're going to turn the palm up and slide it underneath the right. Come all the way back down, forehead down. Reaching out through that right palm, pressing down. Breathing into this, getting a beautiful stretch, both shoulders. as well as the back of the heart. You're going to slide your right hand back under your shoulder, press into the mat, drag that left arm back. Left arm extends, right palm turns up, reaching out to the side as far as you can go, forehead down. Wiggle a little bit further away, moving on that angle. Use your breath, ignite the pose. We take the shape and then we fill the shape with breath. Slide your left hand back underneath the shoulder and then drag that right arm back. You're going to sit your bum back on your heels. Extend the arms out, forehead down. Bringing the palms together, you're going to bend at the elbows and bring the hands to the back of the head or neck. Press those elbows into the ground. Another stretch for the tricep. And drag the elbows closer into the knees, even though they're not moving on the mat. Keep breathing. Opening up. All those little places you don't normally access. Let's pump the arms, straightening them out. Then bend it. Straighten. And then bend. Beautiful. Straighten those arms out. Walk yourself up. We're going to take the right hand in front of the knees, palms up. Left hand in front of the right arm. And you're going to walk out as far as you can. You might want to bring your bum off the heels a little bit. Forehead down. Walk out even further once you get into this position and hold. Weight into the shoulders, just stretching that front head. Deep, full breaths. If you feel a little unbalanced, feel free to tuck the toes under. Take the breath right up to the head of the shoulder. Sit your bums down, drag those arms back, and we're going to switch now. Left is in towards the knees, right is on top. Walking out as far as you can, forehead comes to the floor, or remember, you can use a block. Reaching out, palms up, spreading those fingers. Deep, full breaths. Unlock the sensation. Go to where you feel this and then breathe into it. Sit your bum back, drag your arms in, extend them out. We're going to bring the right hand to the right knee, and then we're going to cross that left arm over the body. You're going to slide your hips slightly to the left, give a nice stretch down that arm, but also down the rib cage, down into the waist. Extend both arms back and front, and then take it over to the other side. Left hand in, right arm crosses over, bum slides to the right. Press the hand into the floor, breathe. And then come back through center, come coming up into our tabletop position. We're gonna come to lie on the floor now. So I'm just gonna move these things off to the side. Next, we're gonna come into a 45-degree angle with our right hand. Left hand's gonna sit on the ground beside us. Toes can be untucked or tucked under. Just looking over to your shoulder, I want you to lift the head of your shoulder off the ground, and then I want you to roll it forward, tapping your mat. Lift, and then roll forward, tap it down. Feeling that movement of the shoulder in the socket of the arm bone. Okay, eventually we're gonna put the head of the shoulder down on the mat. You're gonna turn to look away from the shoulder. You're gonna start to press into this left hand, and you're gonna roll over onto your hips. Now, some of you might wanna stay with your feet stacked or one foot in front in a kickstand, or maybe taking that leg behind you. Deeper stretch for that shoulder. Left hand staying down, a little bit of balance, but also pressing, helping to guide that shoulder open. Using the breath. Fingers can stay down, or if you want a little bit more, you're going to pull those fingers up and back. Deep, full breaths. Right down that arm. Roll over onto your belly. Slide that arm back. We're going to do the same on the other side. Left arm, 45 degrees. We're looking down at the shoulder, and we're just going to start to play with that internal, external rotation. Eventually dropping the head of the shoulder down to the mat. We're going to press into the right hand, rolling over onto our side body. Choosing here to stack, kickstand, or take that leg behind you. Right hand down on the mat, pressing, guiding, there for balance, and breathing. Staying here, starting to pull those fingertips up to the sky, meeting the edge of sensation with breath. Rolling now back over onto our bellies, sliding our hands back. We're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into those arms through the triceps, coming all the way back up into tabletop position. Tuck the toes under. We're going to inhale, right arm up to the sky, big reach. Exhale, float it through. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, float. This time we're going to place the palm up. Bring that right ear down to the ground, and then take the left hand onto the sacrum. You're going to start to press into the sacrum to help open that shoulder, curling it up towards the ceiling. Nice, deep opening for that upper back. And then rolling back down, placing left hand onto the mat, dragging right arm back, underneath the shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, float. Inhale, lift. Exhale, float. Stay down, palm facing up. Take a moment of breath. Reset yourself. Press into that right hand. Bring it onto the sacrum, and then start to rotate that shoulder up to the sky. Use your breath. Stay connected. Mind, body, present here and now. Lower the shoulder down. Bring the hand underneath, press, come back. Walk the hands a little bit forward on the mat. Hands are away from the shoulders, toes are tucked under. We're going to press up and back our downward facing dog. From here, I just want you to lift your shoulders towards your ears, kind of a crammed up, doesn't feel great down dog. Then I want you to send those shoulders away from the ears, pushing the heels closer towards the floor. Let's try that again. Lifting up, kind of cramming, and then creating space. One more time, cramming, and then create some space. Feel those shoulder blades slipping off to the left and to the right. The inner tricep circling around, thighs engaged. Beautiful. Tap down onto the knees. And now we're going to come into a beautiful opener for the wrists, just to finish off today's class. So we're going to turn the fingerprints out to the side, and you can start with the hands quite wide, and we're going to just start to move left and right here. Now everybody has a different wrist mobility, same as shoulder mobility, so you really have to meet yourself today where you're at. If you suffer from arthritis, taking this super easy, just breathing, finding that sensation and breathing into it. Okay, we're going to start to circle this out. So you're going to come forward, over to one side, behind, over to the other side. 2 full circles in one direction, and then you're going to switch and move in the other direction. Beautiful. Come all the way back. This time we're going to turn those fingerprints now towards the knee. All the way back, spread out those fingers. See how this is feeling. Press into the hands, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then start to slide the bum back behind you. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Just starting to stretch into those hands. Come forward, take the load off, and then sit on the back. Come forward, take the load off, and then sit on the back. Okay, come all the way forward, untuck your toes, sit back. You're going to clasp your hands together and just draw some figure eights. Switch your direction. And then come all the way back down. This time we're going to flip the hands over, gorilla hands. From here, you're going to send those shoulders away, bring the load back, and we're going to curl our hands into fists, and then relax. Fists, relax. Fists, curling up index finger and thumb, relax. Okay, take your baby fingers in. Maybe your other fingers are going to go with it. Ring finger and baby. Middle finger. Index finger. Thumb. Hold it tight. Release it all. Another fist. And release. Sit on back. Come onto the heels. You're going to pull the skin away from the wrist. You're pulling down. You're going to make a fist and you're going to roll this out. This should feel pretty good. A little bit of tractioning through those wrists. Again, if you've been sitting a lot, this is going to feel really good, especially if you've been typing. Other side, sitting doing computer work. I've been into puzzles lately. Our family's doing a lot of puzzles. That's part of the body being bent over. So we have to take body breaks for our back, for those hands, that rolling shoulders. So just setting that back. Let's take the arms nice and long. We're gonna pull the fingers back. Nice stretch through the forearms. Other side, straighten out the elbows, lock it out. pull those fingers back. And then flip it over, grabbing the front of the hand, pulling back. Elbows might twist up towards the ceiling. And other side. And release. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, right arm forward, left hand back. Take that right hand onto the knee. Maybe the left hand touch the ground, maybe not. Looking behind you, spinal twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Lengthen the spine. Find your rotation. And then releasing. Let's come to lie down on your back. We're going to set up for our Shavasana. If you wish today, you can use that block underneath your head. Coming to lie down, just getting a little bit more height through that neck, length through the neck. We spent a lot of time opening up the shoulder and neck area. So the chin is slightly coming down, stimulating thyroid and parathyroid gland. Let's today keep our hands on our bodies, whether it's 2 hands on your belly or 1 hand on your belly, 1 hand on your heart. Toes turned out, just windshield wiper, that gyrokinetic movement right up into the hip socket. So nice deep breaths, letting the shoulders roll up, back, and down. Eyes heavy, rolling to the back of the brain. Just swallow here. Track that energy of release right to the base of the digestive system. With your own hands on your body, just start to connect a little bit more deeply with yourself. Just thanking yourself for showing up, for creating space in your day to find space in your body. our shoulders, our chest area, our neck. This helps to open the space around our heart, helps to open up the pericardial heart sac, that double layer that's around our heart. And when we feel sadness, loss, constriction, our whole chest concaves in. And this pericardial heart sac actually gets tighter and it chokes off our heart. So today we help to open that, creating space through that horizontal fascial line in the body. This is the area of self-compassion in our own hearts, having compassion for ourselves. Self-compassion as a way to be there with yourself in a tender, nurturing way, which you might say is the yin side of self-compassion. But there's also a powerful, strong, active component to self-compassion. This is the yang side of self-compassion. Both of these energies of self-compassion are absolutely needed if we're going to take care of ourselves and alleviate our own suffering. Yin self-compassion is embodied by a loving, connected presence. It's about being with our emotions, whatever they are and whenever they arise, being accepting of ourselves as we are in this moment in time. Well, Yin self-compassion actually has three components. It's protecting, it's providing for, and it's motivating ourselves. We need the balance of the two. Take a moment here. Self-compassion with that big, wide open heart and huge friggin' fence boundaries. We walk back into our day, taking a couple of deep breaths, coming back into the physical body. Starting to move fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Zipping those feet together, take the arms above the head, give yourself a nice big stretch. Take your right hand, grab onto your left wrist, just under the joint, pull slightly over to the right. Switch hands, do the other side. Come back to center, bend your knees, roll over onto the right. Take a moment in your fetal position here. This is a great time to set an intention, maybe a moment of gratitude or prayer or a dedication of your practice to somebody who needs it in your life right now. And then press that hand into the ground, make your way back up into a seated position. Let's inhale, arms all the way up. Collect whatever it is we need for our day. Pull it down into heart center. We're going to bow the head to the heart, connecting love and wisdom. We're going to flip the hands, keeping the palms pressing into one another. Stretching through the wrists, but turning those fingertips down towards the ground, the earth. And then you're going to draw that earth energy in. You're going to drink it in, bring it into your being, turning the palms up towards the heavens, towards your higher self. Drink that energy in, bring it into your being. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for showing up for yourself today, for your practice, your energy, your breath. Beautiful day.